Hi, I'm Mary Matz, creator of Twisted Yarns. If you've been following along with our Pansy Blanket, you know that we learned to make the pansy flower in the first episode. And then, in part 2, we learned to crochet the leaf background that forms the equilateral triangle motif. This is the third video in this series, and you will learn to make these two right-angled triangle motifs. You'll need to make them in pairs as one points to the right and the other to the left. Together, they fill in and straighten the side edges of the blanket. Both variations are covered in this video and also in the Pansy Blanket companion pattern, which is available by following the link in the description below. We'll start with the right pointing triangle.
I'm going to form a slip knot, and I am going to chain 6, but I'm going to leave my yarn end long enough so I can do it double. It weaves it in automatically. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do 6 double, and I'm going to pull this end through and let it go. And then I'm going to do the next 5, which makes it 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. This is our foundation chain. And there's a reason I leave that little tail there, is because that's the 6th chain from the hook, which we're going to mark the 5th chain from the hook before we move on. Okay, in the 6th chain from the hook, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. That's a double crochet. So we worked 1 double crochet in the 6th chain from the hook. Now we're going to work another double crochet in the next stitch. In the 3rd stitch, we're going to work a half double crochet. Now a half double crochet is worked by yarning over the hook, inserting the hook into the stitch, pulling up a loop just like a double crochet, but instead of pulling through 2 and then pulling through 2, we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. Wasn't that simple? Let's do another one then. Yarn over, insert our hook into the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. That's another half double crochet. In the very next stitch, we're going to work 1 single crochet. And in the last stitch, we're going to work a slip stitch. We're going to insert the hook, pull the loop through all the loops on the hook. And what that does is it creates a little point down here, and this part is much wider because we tapered all of our stitches down to this point. Now, chain 1 and turn, because this is a row. On the next row, we're going to come along this edge and then turn the corner and come along the second edge. So in the very first stitch, we've already done our chain 1. We're going to insert our hook under both of the upper loops, pull up a loop, and complete a single crochet. In the first one and in the second one, another single crochet. In the 2 half double crochets, we're going to work 1 half double crochet in the first one and 1 half double crochet in the second one. In the top of the 2 double crochets, we're going to work a double crochet into the first one and a double crochet into the second one. That leaves us the chain 5 at the beginning that formed a little loop. So now we're going to turn that into a corner. So yarn over and work 2 double crochets into that space. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, that forms the corner space on this row, and then work 3 more double crochets in that same space formed by that foundation chain. Now we're going to chain 1, and that forms a little space But remember I put this marker on here just so you knew where it was. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that stitch. Oops, there we go. Gotta work around that marker. Pull up a loop and complete a double crochet. What that does is it straightens this edge out perfectly. And that's our base that'll be on the outside of the afghan. So we've just completed row 2. Now you can get lost real easily, and so what I like to do is keep my marker down on this corner because this is my right angle corner, and I'm just going to move it over to this stitch here. I'm going to be working into this space, so I don't want to interfere, but I'm marking that corner. So now we're going to start row 3. Chain 1 and turn, of course. Okay, now in this very first chain 1 space, we're going to work a single crochet and a chain 1. In the very top of the first double crochet, we're going to work a single crochet, chain 1. In the top of the third, we're skipping that center one. In the top of the third double crochet, we're going to work a single crochet, chain 1. And in the corner space, we are going to work a single crochet, chain 1, a single crochet, chain 3, a single crochet, chain 1, and a single crochet, chain 1. What that does is it creates, the chain 3 creates the corner, and in that space we have 2 single crochets with chain 1s in between on both sides. So we made a nice sharp corner. Now, working along this side, we're going to continue to establish the single crochet row, and basically we're going to place a single crochet in the first, third, fifth, and 7th stitch. So complete the single crochet, chain 1. That goes in the first one. Single crochet, chain 1. That was in the 3rd stitch. Skip a stitch, single crochet, chain 1. That's the 5th stitch. Skip 1, single crochet, chain 1. That's the 7th stitch. But we're not quite done. We have to build out this tip a little bit pointier. So what we're going to do is in the very next stitch, we're going to work a single crochet and a chain 1. And in the very tip, which is really kind of in the bottom of row 1, okay, you want to grab a little bit, you want to get under at least 2 strands just so it stays supported. And that one's tight, so let me see if I can find it a little different way. Okay, here, I'll go right here. We're going to work a single crochet, chain 2, and a treble crochet. Ooh, a treble is worked by yarning over twice, inserting the hook, pulling up a loop, yarn over. Now, let's look at this. We have 4 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over it and pull through 2, yarn over it, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2, a treble crochet. And that builds out that point. And this space formed by the chain 2 actually becomes a corner. So we are going to chain 1 and turn. And so we're going to work a single crochet, chain 1 in that space. Then we're going to work a single crochet, chain 1 in each chain 1 space along this side. So we're going to work a single crochet, chain 1. Then we're at the corner. In this corner, we're going to put a single crochet, chain 3, another single crochet, and a chain 1. That gives it adequate space to turn that corner and move on to this side. So we've done our first single crochet, chain 1 in that corner space. Now we're just going to find the chain 1 spaces and do a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet, chain 1. Now there really isn't a space over here, but what we're going to do is we are going to work right into that corner a single crochet. After we do the single crochet in the last stitch, we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Because that chain 3 helps us move over to here where we're going to put another stitch. And now we're going to work a single crochet, chain 1, and another single crochet, chain 1, in the space that was marked by the marker. Now I like to leave that marker there because this is a tricky shape to make. And so I want you to always have that marker there. I even keep my markers in afterwards so that I can tell my right ones from my left ones because they look very similar. They're a little bit different, but they do look very similar, and you could easily get confused by it. But this way I know this is my right side, this is my right facing, this is my left facing. Okay, so once we've put a single crochet, chain 1 twice into that corner space, then we are going to go and work in the foundation edge, and we're going to do a single crochet, chain 1 in just about every other. We only want to put 5 in evenly spaced along this section. That's 3. This is 4. And here we go. I like to put one right here because it helps to even out that edge. And then in our last space, we're going to put a single crochet. And once again, to make this even, we're going to chain 3 in that corner space. That's this corner space. And then we're going to slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet. And that creates that little point on this end. Now, if you want to double check your work, I put this all in the pattern. Count your single crochets along the edge. Now this gets confusing, but this is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 9 along the long side. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 along the short side, and we should have 8 along the bottom. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I like to count it because it's important. It's not so important on this edge, but it is important on this edge and this edge because that helps you go on to your next round and have the right number of stitches. So now we're going to find the corner with the marker. Now we're going to insert our hook and pull up a loop in the corner on the last row that's nearest the marked stitch. Okay, and we're going to chain 1. I'm using double strand right now, and now I'm going to drop it off because I'm going into single crochets. That slip stitch there will not count as a stitch. Okay, so right next to it I'm going to place a single crochet and a chain 1. And then I'm going to work a single crochet, chain 1 along this entire side of the triangle in each of the chain 1 spaces. In the corner, I'm going to work a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet, chain 1. Before we move on, the reason we put a chain 3 here is so that we get the height of the double crochets that are going in that point. Okay? And that turns our corner. Do you see how nice that turned? Now we go back up the long side of the triangle, and on the long side of the triangle we are going to work one double crochet and a chain 1 in each chain 1 space. Now when we get to the corner space, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet to complete this side. Now we're going to put chain 3 in the middle, and then we're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet, chain 1. So there's actually 2 double crochets ending this side and 2 double crochets in that corner space with chain 1s in between, except for the corner, that is chain 3, and we continue on. So with a double crochet, chain 1 in each of the spaces until the next corner. I'm at the corner, so we're going to end this with 1 double crochet in the corner space and a chain 3 so that we even out and turn that corner, and a slip stitch in the top of the first single crochet to finish our triangle. And there is our little triangle. Now, if you want to double check your work, the critical things are that you need 12 double crochets along this side, 8 double crochets, not counting the chains up at the ends, on the short side. So now we're going to make a left pointing. The first 3 rows of the triangle, of whether it's left or right pointing, are identical. So you just can do those. So you don't turn on this row if you're making a left pointing triangle. Instead, what you do is you continue and you work the base first on this row. So we're going to chain 1, and we are going to work a single crochet and a chain 1 in the corner space. Then we're going to work a single crochet, chain 1 in the first second, fourth, and last stitch along that foundation. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we are at the point where we're at the space before the mark space. So we're going to work 1 single crochet into that space, chain 1. Then I'm going to single crochet, chain 1 in the mark space, and I'm going to single crochet, chain 3. So we have 2 single crochets in the mark space. Then I'm going to, in the very first stitch, I'm going to work a single crochet, chain 1 to start this side. Then I'm going to work in every space from, that makes a nice neat corner. So I'll work a single crochet, chain 1 in each space to the end. When I get to the end and place my stitches in the corner, let's get there, we're almost there. It's a small piece. I'm going to work a single crochet, chain 3, that marks the corner turn. and then another single crochet in that same space and a chain 1 in that space. We will continue along the long side with a single crochet, chain 1 in each of the spaces. When we get to the corner, the last corner, we're going to end with a single crochet, chain 3, and slip stitch to the single crochet at the beginning of the round. There we go. That's our round 4. Now this is where we cut our yarn at all times. We're going to find the corner space nearest the marked corner. So I'm going to insert my hook at that point, and I'm going to pull up a loop to join the yarn. Now I'm going to give myself enough length so that I can do my chain up. 1, 2, 3 in double strands. Okay, so I have the double strands there. So I've chained that up. I'm going to count that as my double crochet. Then I'm going to chain one more with the double strand, but this time I'm pulling it all the way through. So that represents the chain 1 of the first chain 1 space. So now I'm going to work a double crochet and a chain 1 in each space along the short side. Chain 1 and an extra one. Okay, because we put 2 in the corner. Now we're going to chain our 3, and we're going to put another double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 in that. That turns our corner, so we have 2 on this side and 2 on that side, just like our other right-handed one. Right-handed triangle. So now we're going to work a double crochet and a chain 1 in each of the chain 1 spaces along this side. We're at the point, and we finished our chain 1. We're going to work a double crochet, chain 1, a double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to, that brings us back to the corner again, and we're going to work a single crochet, chain 1. So on this outer border, just like we did on our other one, we worked double crochets along both of these, short side and the really long side. So now we're going to work single crochets along this bottom edge. Single crochet chain 1s in every space along the bottom edge. We're at the last corner. We're going to work a single crochet and chain 3 and slip stitch to the third chain at the beginning of the round, which is this one here where that little string is coming out. Remember how we pulled that through? And there you go. This is our right, and this is our left. They're mirror images of each other. 8 along here, 8 along here, 12 along here, and 9 along here. 9 single crochets across the base.
I hope you enjoyed watching this video. In part 4 of the Pansy Blanket series, we will learn to crochet all the triangle motifs together. Please take a moment to subscribe and ring the bell to receive notifications of upcoming videos. Happy crocheting!